If you feel like life is quietly slipping through your fingers, like you wake up, go through the motions, and somehow end every day feeling a little emptier than before, you're not alone. Most people don't wake up one day and decide to live an unfulfilled life. It just happens slowly. A missed workout here, a late night there, a dream you tell yourself you'll start next month. Then one day, you look around and realize you've built a life that looks fine on the outside, but feels quiet on the inside. And the truth is, change doesn't start with something big. It starts with something so small, it almost feels silly. Tiny habits, done quietly, repeatedly, have the power to rebuild your life from the inside out. Today, I want to share the habits that quietly changed my entire life. No drama, no hacks, no overnight transformations, just small things that made me feel alive again. But before we get into them, I want to tell you a story because I think you'll see a bit of yourself in it. The story of Daniel. Daniel is 27. He works a regular 9 to 5 job, nothing fancy, nothing terrible. Every morning he wakes up to the same alarm, grabs the same coffee, drives the same route. By 6 p.m., he's home. He opens his phone, tells himself he'll just rest for a bit, and then, before he knows it, it's 11:47 p.m. He's scrolling, switching between YouTube, TikTok, and messages, half laughing, half empty. Then guilt hits. He thinks, tomorrow I'll do better. One night, after another long, mindless evening, Daniel sat in the dark and whispered something out loud that changed everything. He said, "I'm tired of watching other people live." That sentence hit him like a mirror, because he realized he wasn't lazy. He was stuck. He had dreams, goals, even plans, but he didn't have habits that matched them. That night didn't turn him into a new person, but it did make him take one small step. And that first small step became the foundation for his quiet transformation. Habit number 1, the habit of showing up. Here's the thing nobody tells you. You don't need motivation to change your life. You just need to show up. Not perfectly, not for hours, just once. Daniel started small. He didn't join a gym or buy new sneakers. He just decided that after work, he'd take a 10-minute walk. That's it. No phone, no podcast, just him, the sound of his steps, and the city lights. At first, it didn't feel like much, but that walk became the line between "I'm trying" and "I gave up." It reminded him, and it will remind you too, that progress begins the moment you decide to show up. Maybe for you, it's writing one paragraph, or drinking one glass of water instead of another soda, or shutting down your laptop when you say you will. You don't have to do everything. You just have to start doing something. Pause. Here's a truth I learned the hard way. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week, but underestimate what they can do in a year by just showing up every day. That's what Daniel did. He kept walking, and over time, those walks turned into jogs. Those jogs turned into early mornings, and those early mornings turned into clarity, not just in his mind, but in his life. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's repetitive, it's quiet, but that's why it works. Habit number 2, the habit of single tasking. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did just one thing? You see, we live in a world that worships multitasking. We brag about being busy, about juggling 10 things at once. But here's the secret. Busy is not the same as productive. Daniel used to be the same way. He'd start something, then halfway through pick up his phone, he'd answer one message, then open another tab, then another, until he'd forget what he started in the first place. Sound familiar? One day, he tried something different. He set a timer for 25 minutes. One task, one focus. No music, no phone, no distractions. It was uncomfortable at first. His brain itched for stimulation. But something strange happened. After a few days, he started finishing things faster. He started feeling progress again. That's when he realized multitasking was draining his energy, not multiplying it. Maybe that's where you are right now.
You're working, scrolling, messaging, listening all at once, wondering why you feel exhausted but unfulfilled. Here's what nobody tells you. Your attention is your most valuable resource. If you waste it on everything, you'll build nothing. But if you focus it, even for a short time, you can rebuild your entire life. That's what Daniel did. He started small, one focused session a day, then two, then a full hour of uninterrupted work. And slowly, things that used to feel impossible started becoming natural. Not because he suddenly became more disciplined, but because he stopped scattering his focus. You don't have to do more. You just have to do less more deeply. The first two habits, showing up and single tasking, might seem simple, and that's exactly why they work. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on design. You can design your life around showing up once a day. You can design your mind around doing one thing at a time. These aren't just habits. They're quiet promises you make to yourself. And when you keep them, day after day, something inside you shifts. You start trusting yourself again. And that's where real transformation begins. Coming up next, Daniel's story continues.
Like you were having a conversation with a friend, Daniel had built momentum. He wasn't perfect. He still had days when he fell back into old habits, late nights, mindless scrolling, excuses. But this time, something was different. Because every time he slipped, he knew how to start again. He'd walk for 10 minutes, he'd do one focused session, and slowly he realized that progress isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. That persistence opened the door to something deeper. It made him realize that success isn't only about doing more. It's also about learning when to pause. Habit number 3, the habit of intentional rest. You've probably heard the phrase, "Don't be lazy." But what if I told you that rest, when done intentionally, is not laziness at all? In fact, it's one of the most productive things you can do. See, most people don't rest. They escape. They scroll. They binge. They distract themselves from exhaustion instead of recovering from it. But Daniel started to learn the difference. He realized that real rest doesn't numb you. It nourishes you. So, he started a small evening ritual. Every night, after dinner, he'd light a candle, put his phone away, and just read for 15 minutes. Just him and a book. At first, it felt strange. His brain kept whispering, "You should be doing something." But with time, those 15 minutes became sacred. He started sleeping better. His anxiety lowered. And he noticed when he did work, he worked with more energy, more focus, and less resentment. That's what intentional rest does. It teaches you that slowing down isn't the opposite of progress. It's part of it. Maybe for you, that means taking a walk without headphones. Maybe it's journaling, meditating, or simply lying on your bed and doing absolutely nothing, without guilt. Because here's the truth. If you don't schedule rest, your body will schedule it for you, through burnout, fatigue, or breakdown. You don't need to earn rest. You need to protect it. Daniel didn't realize it at first, but these quiet moments were building something powerful. Self-awareness. The kind that makes you pause and ask questions like, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's really important to me? And that leads us to the final habit, the one that often separates those who grow from those who repeat. Every week, Daniel started writing in a small notebook. He didn't call it a journal. He called it a conversation with himself. He'd write simple things like, what went well this week? What drained me? What do I want to do differently next time? At first, it felt silly, but after a few weeks, patterns began to appear. He realized he wasn't just tired from work, he was tired from pretending to be okay. He saw how often he said yes to things he didn't want to do. He noticed how much time he spent worrying about things that didn't matter. And one day, he wrote something that hit him hard.
maybe my life isn't stuck. Maybe I just stopped paying attention. That's when everything clicked. Reflection gave him clarity, and clarity gave him control. And that's something I want you to hear right now. You can't improve what you don't notice. If you want to change your life, don't just keep doing more. Start paying attention to what's already happening. Write it down. Talk it out. Even 5 minutes of quiet reflection can shift your entire direction. Because sometimes you don't need new answers. You just need to start asking better questions. Months passed. Daniel wasn't a different person. He was a truer person. The habits didn't make his life perfect. They made it real. He didn't quit his job or move to a new city. He didn't go viral or make $1 million. But he stopped feeling like a background character in his own story. Now, he wakes up earlier, takes those quiet walks, works with focus, and rests without guilt. He doesn't chase every trend or measure himself against everyone else. He's simply present. And that's what these habits do. They don't shout. They whisper. They work quietly in the background until one day you look around and your entire life feels lighter. The takeaway. Maybe you've been waiting for a big change, a moment where everything suddenly makes sense. But here's the truth. Big change doesn't come from big moments. It comes from small, consistent acts of courage done quietly when no one's watching. Start with one habit, just one. Maybe it's showing up, taking that 10-minute walk. Maybe it's single tasking, focusing on one thing at a time. Maybe it's resting, without guilt. Or maybe it's reflecting, writing down what you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, start small. Start today. Because one day, you'll wake up and realize that your life didn't change overnight. It changed slowly, quietly, beautifully, while you were simply doing your best, one habit at a time. If this message found you at the right time, maybe it was meant to. You don't need to rebuild your life in a week. You just need to take the next small step that your future self will thank you for. So, wherever you are, take a deep breath. You're not behind. You're just beginning. Thanks for watching. If this video spoke to you, don't just click away. Take one small action today, because the habits that quietly change your life are the ones you start when no one's watching.